But it is getting a little warmer in here. It is.
So, am I missing the link?
So, thank you for turning the heat on tonight. And Doug, since you're here, we always like to start with finding out people who are new here. And would you like to introduce our newest member?
So I met someone on a cruise ship several years ago and fell in love with him and his partner. And this is Louis Smith. And Louis called me out of nowhere, and I wanted him to join the temple for years. And so that he doesn't have to talk all about himself. Louis is one of the founders of the United States Holocaust Museum. He works on the USC Shoah Project with Steven Spielberg, and he is an absolutely wonderful, loving, incredible man, in my opinion, for what that's worth. Louis, do you want to add anything?
I'm also involved in the Desert Days Project, and I'm on the board of the animal shelter.
And your favorite food, Rabbi Skinner?
Oh, that's right. I forgot to ask you. We always ask for your favorite food.
Food?
Your favorite food, that's right, Bill. Oh, there we go.
And Louis is a member as of about 25 minutes ago.
That's right, he's newly minted. Well, we are so thrilled to have you here. And you do very, very good work. I did a little work with the Shoah Foundation when I was online. And thank you for all your work in that as well. Thank you so much. Is there anyone else who is visiting us for the first time tonight? Yes.
We're visiting. I'm Jody Litt. This is my mother, Harriet Litt, and my son, Elliot Johnson. We're visiting from Seattle.
From Seattle. We have a lot of people here. Welcome. And your favorite food in Seattle?
Anything Thai, I guess. Yeah.
Anything. It's well, we do have some good Thai restaurants here. Somewhere. And anyone else here for the first time? Well, I've been here for a while. Well, it's so nice to see everyone with us. And I'm just so happy that you're all here. And Dr. Sarasella joins me on the bima, along with Joel Baker on the piano. Joel, thank you again for being here. Did we ever solve the mystery whether you're going to sing in the cantorial concert? He's got an amazing voice. We didn't know that until he sang Sanctuary. He has this wonderful baritone voice. So that's wonderful. That's great. So we hope to see that too. So tonight, I thought since we're going to start with the Nigun, yeah. So we're gonna try to get everyone warmed up just a bit. Just follow along with us. Joyfully. God doesn't care what key you sing in or as many keys you sing in the same time. As I was told, I sing in many keys at the same time. So kind of like ambidextrous singing. Let's turn in our series to page 10, and we'll begin the middle of the page with page 10. Let's turn our CD to page 6. For those of you who are watching online, wherever you are watching around the world, page 124 our virtual CD-door. We welcome all of our watchers on Facebook as well. Let's read responsibly the second selection on page 6. May the door of the synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. Together.
May welcome all who bears one burden, thanks express most church.
May the door of the synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May threshold be no stumbling block beyond your strength.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May this synagogue be for all who enter, devoted to richer and more meaningful life.
And now we're going to turn to page 3 and then page 2 as we light our Shabbat candles. And we'll have Miriam come up along with whoever you'd like to bring up with us and all of our new. So we have our new Temple Isaiah Auxiliary, which what did I come up with the acronym now? TAX. So it's
Would you like to join us at Blessing?
not to be confused with Ajax. But so we're going to turn on page 3. And please join with Miriam as we do the first readings, and then we'll do the lighting of the candles on page 2.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Old school. Shabbat Shalom. And so the first time we do it twice in our service, so the first time after we light our Shabbat candles, let's turn to our neighbor and wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
now, as we welcome Shabbat, we turn in our Siddurim to page 20, 138 in our virtual Siddur. And we welcome Shabbat with this invitation to invite Shekhinah, the divine presence, to come into our midst. The feminine side of God, the part of God that welcomes and embraces, and not only that, but gives us love and nourishment as we ask that God make this holy group that we put together even holier by bringing Shekhinah, divine presence, into our midst. Tonight, we'll sing the first, second, fifth, and ninth stanza. When we get to the ninth stanza, we'll then face the door and rise over there as we greet Shabbat. Top of page 20, the Chabad. Let's turn in our Siddurim down to page 24, 142 in our virtual Siddur. And one of the things we don't get a chance to do sometimes when we read, we sing our songs in Hebrew is understand what these words mean. And it's important that the rabbis say we have dinah, we have understanding of what we're also reading. And so what we're going to do tonight is responsibly read the translation of the Shalom Aleichem, and then we'll sing it together. So below the Hebrew, let's read responsibly on page 24. Peace be to you, O ministering angels, messengers of the Most High, majesty of majesties, Holy One of blessing. Together.
And peace, O messengers of peace, angels of the Most High, majesty of majesties,
Holy One, bless thee.
Bless me with peace, O messengers of peace, angels of the Most High, majesty of majesties, Holy One of blessing.
Depart in peace, O messengers of peace, angels of the Most High, majesty and majesty, Holy One of blessing.
Now let's greet not only the angels we think of in kind of the temporal idea or the religious sense, but all the wonderful feelings that come, the taste of Shabbat, and all the people out there who are angels, who every day give so much to help others. We honor them with this song. This is the song that teaches us that Shalom comes in many different forms, and angels are all over. All we have to do is look for them. Page 24, Shalom.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yom. Melech, Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malachei Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yom.
Our service continues now on page 26 in our Siddurim, 144 in our virtual Siddur. And as we now make the transition from the welcoming of Shabbat, the Kabbalah of Shabbat, the sun is set, we now move into the evening service of Shabbat. We do that by saying this prayer, which is half of a prayer we say for those who have passed on. That's why it's called the Chatzi Kaddish, the half Kaddish. And it really is extolling God, really is acknowledging the fact that there is something above us, whatever we call God, the Most High, whatever we aspire to that is above us, that humans are not the ultimate creation, that there's something that is far beyond us. We acknowledge it on page 26. Yikada v'yikada shevei Rav Yibarakute v'yadik malkute B'chaye cholu yomecho Uchaye decho beit Yisrael Bagala bagala Ubizman chaviv yimaru Yeishne Rabba Mora, Leolam Olmechomaya, Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitbar, Yirumam, Yitnaseh, Vitadar, Vitalev, Vitalal, Shemei Gudisha, Brehu, Leolam, Yitomacherta, Veshirata, Tushevata, V'emata, Da'aniran Elma, V'immaru. We turn to page 28 in our Siddurim, 146 in our virtual Siddur. We now rise together as a community and congregation. Whether here in Palm Springs, wherever you're watching around the world, we are brought together by Shabbat as a community. We acknowledge that with the call to worship, the Baruch, page 28.
La 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 Baruch
service now continues on page 30 in our Siddurim, below Hebrew, 148 in our virtual Siddur. Please read along with me in English below Hebrew, page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time, and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars and the heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, blowing light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzebaoth is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on peace. El Chayim Sami Lo Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai HaMaharim Haravim. Our service now continues at the top of page 32, 115, our virtual Siddur, Habat Olah.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים משפטים אותנו לימדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושפנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם יומם ולילה ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
Our service continues on page 33, 151 in our virtual Siddur. The second selection on page 33. Please read with me responsibly. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. Together. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. Then this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. And now we turn to page 34, 152 in our virtual Siddur, and recite the words that bind us together as a people, Am Echad, one people, to continue together with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Page 36, we continue with the Ba'al.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 37, 155 in our virtual Siddur. Please read with me the translation explanation of together. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work. Whether you are tired or you are resting, let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you will be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. We now continue in our Siddurim, page 40, 158 of Virtual Siddur. And this is the song that you can clap your hands, stamp your feet, get a little warm by moving your body around. This is a beautiful ode to Debbie Friedman, the blessed memory, who took this piece of Torah and made it very, very relevant. The children of Israel looking back and seeing the Sea of Reeds opened up, and they walked through it. And they looked back and said, who is like you, O Lord our God, among the gods who are worshipped? Who is like you, majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders? And this beautiful song is put in this spiritual, wonderful piece. And please feel free to clap along. Dr. Zella, as we sing at the top of page 40, Page 41, 159 in our Virtual Siddur. Please read with me this wonderful paragraph about song and how it goes to our heart and also to God at the same time. Together, page 41. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles and earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of the land once ravaged by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of the world redeemed, the song of peace. We turn to page 42, page 160, and this is indeed a beautiful song of peace. When we lay our heads down at nighttime, we ask that God protect our soul, our body, to give us just one more day of life, one more day, one more tomorrow. Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu B'Shalom, Ve'amidenu Shomeinu L'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu B'Shalom, Ve'amidenu Shomeinu L'chaim. Ufra Osam Ashkeveinu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, Ve'amidenu Shomrei U'Mechaim, U'Shmor Tzedekenu, U'Vorenu, Lechaim U'Shalom, Me'ata Adonai. Ashkeveinu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, Ve'amidenu Shomrei U'Mechaim. Ashkeveinu Adonai, Eloheinu Shalom, Ve'amidenu Shomrei Lechaim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Aleinu v'atom Yisrael, And now we come to the part of our service on page 42, 162. For those of you who are new here, you're going to learn what a meltone is. Yes, we have meltones in our synagogue. Because then we have angels. We have meltones. And each serve different purposes. Both can sing. Our meltones sing like angels. And so we sing our favorite song on page 42, 162 in our virtual siddur. We ask Melanie and her meltone, and you can be a meltone too. It's free of charge. You can go up and sing along with everyone else as we celebrate this beautiful idea that the people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages, the covenant for all time. It's a sign between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth. And on the seventh day, God ceased from work and was refreshed. Here we go. Ready? We now turn in our Siddurim to page 46, 164 in our virtual Siddur. This is a part of the service where we rise for the Amidah. The word Amidah comes from the word Amu, to stand. It's a central part of our worship service tonight. So let us all stand on page 46, 164. And if the words don't call to you they don't really make too much sense, you can just close your eyes and spend just a few private moments, just thinking about things that are important. Page 46, continue with the Amidah.
Adonai sefata tifta ufi yagi teilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
48.
Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Lea, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עושה ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
Page 50.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, לחיי הכל אתה רב וראשייה, לכלכל חיים בחסד, לחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר, מחמוך בעל יבורות, ומדומה לה, מלך נביא ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל.
Page 52.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום, יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We turn to page 53, 171 in our virtual Siddur. Let us read the top paragraph together. Days pass and years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing, and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence like lightning illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and explain and wonder how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. Now take a few moments for silent meditation. Please take as long as you need, and when you're finished, good to see you. Let's now turn in our Siddurim to page 60. Page 16, 178 in our virtual Siddur. And the final blessing of the Amidah is always the same, the hope, the wish, the aspiration, the prayer. For shalom, for peace, and for shalem, for fullness each day. On top of the day, shalom.
Shalom, Yisrael, Chai, Kasim, Me'olam. ברוך אתה אדוני, המברך את עמו ישראל, בשלום. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. 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 יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Now let's, for a second time, turn to each other and say Shabbat Shalom, especially to someone maybe you do not know. Let's take a few moments and wish each other Shabbat Shalom. Well, it's nice seeing everyone here tonight, Shabbat Shalom. I can see what's on the better down here. And so, I'm so glad we gathered here. And I'm going to take you through a very interesting, almost like a lesson to a certain extent, about something that we all know, that after tonight we'll see it in a completely different way. But I wanted to start tonight by just something that caught my eye during the week. And I'll tell you, I am not a football fan. I have never really liked football. I just never did anything for me. And Monday night happened to be just watching, yes, we'll admit that Sarah and I really like Hallmark movies. It's, it's like, Hallmark movies are kind of like cream cheese. You know exactly what it's gonna taste like. You know how it's gonna go on your bagel or whatever.
And they have those Jewish ones too, though, right?
Yeah. Jewish ones, but it's always the same formula. And it's just one of those things that's kind of reliable, And so, it's not for everybody, but I guess since I don't really watch football that much, but we do, so. And so, and I don't really watch a lot of TV. But I happened to be on Monday night, and I was turning the channels, and all of a sudden, it came to, I guess, whichever channel they were turning Monday Night Football. And I just saw a bunch of people standing around and football players crying. And I had not seen what had happened before, but obviously something was wrong. And as the commentator went on and talked about what happened to Mark Hamlin, and he had a cardiac arrest on the field. And one of the things that, to me, is a very Jewish idea is how not just Jews, but Cubans, but Jews are attuned to that, to humanize the moment. And hearing on this sportscast, which I never expected to hear, sportscaster saying, the game's not important, the score's not important, this young man's life is important. And seeing players of both teams, the Bills and the Bengals, embracing each other and comforting each other. What a wonderful lesson to teach people. And my hope was that thank God that this player, it seems like he'll be okay. He started his heart again and he was extubated. And the sportscaster went on to say something that I thought was really important, something I wanted to heart what I want to talk about tonight. That maybe because of this, that was the football of the past. Maybe the football of today and the future might be looking at these players as human beings who have families, who have children and partners, and looking at them not as just players on the field, but people who get hurt. And that every time that somebody comes out to take a look at them, hoping that they'll be okay, there's a family working. And I bring that up because this is the last portion of Genesis by a king. And this is the part where Jacob dies. And up till now, all the children, his children, are kind of not really centered. Jacob kind of left them a legacy, but not a film. And Jacob starts out his life as Jacob. At the end of his life, he becomes Israel, the one who struggles with God. And there's this wonderful Hasidic midrash. Talks about that when Jacob dies, and his children come around him, what is it that they say? That they all say together. And this midrash just imagine them saying the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. But it's not the Shema that you think about. We hear those words, hear Israel, the word of God, words one, we think about Israel, the family of Israel, the people of Israel. But rabbis teach us that's not what this prayer is. Shema Yisrael, listen Israel, not Israel corporate, not the whole people, but their father Israel. Hear, O Israel, the words of God over Israel. That this is his legacy. His legacy is for us to be one, for us to be a people, for us to have a future together. The reason why I correlate that with this football game is that I hope that in the future we don't see football the same way anymore. Just robots on a field. And at that moment when Jacob's children are saying this, they're saying to their father, we hear you, Israel. We hear you, Father. We hear you that we are one. We're not this diffuse group of people. And we have this future of being one, of being echad. When we say the Shema in services or when someone passes, there's a duality. We're saying the Shema as this large group, this large family of Jews. We're also saying that same statement to our spiritual ancestors. That we have a duty, an obligation, a commitment, and a love that I'm willing to take this idea of what Judaism is and send it to the next generation. That when we say that, especially when someone is passing. We're saying that all the goodness that you gave us, we're going to view that in ourselves and go forward. We're traditionally supposed to say the Shema before we pass on. Most of the time, it doesn't happen, so we say it for them. But it's a commitment, it's a statement of faith, of saying that we're going to take what you taught us, and our lives will be changed for the better. Because we take what you gave us, and now we continue with it. When we say about our loved ones when they pass, that the memories be for a blessing, it's this idea of the Shema. The idea that we take what they were, and we take those wonderful, beautiful ideas, and we make their memory into a blessing by emulating them, by doing things that benefit other people, by understanding that our past and our future can be very different. Most of us who have lost people in our lives, our lives change. There's a hole. There's a missing part. There's a missing piece. We try somehow to go further on. What helps is when we can take the things that were beautiful and important, the things that we learned, and we push them forward into our own lives. Then, our past has changed and our future is yet to be written. I like to think about when we say the Shema, whether it's in a prayer service or by ourselves or whatnot, we are doing two things. We're committing ourselves to the future of Judaism. We're also binding ourselves to the ones who we love, the ones that taught us what we know. And by saying that we are one, echad, we link ourselves to everyone else, all the way back to Jacob, that we are connected. I tell people that when you belong to a community, you will never fall. Tonight, we were going to celebrate Robin's 80th birthday. And she and her son are doing an amazing mitzvah that is so much part of what that community is about. They're with Carrie and Don Trinity. Don is quite ill. And they're having Shabbat with them. This is what the community is about. This is what Echad is about. That we are inseparable. We are together. And perhaps we see that when we say these words, what happened in the past is the past. We can literally change our future by understanding that we can do wonderful things to bring people together, that we can look at our lives differently. Hopefully we won't look at football the same way. Hopefully we'll see human beings on the field. Next time you say Shabbat, think about the people in your lives, your Israels, that gave you life, that taught you where to be, who to be, and how to be. And now you're in this place. When we say the Shema, we're pledging ourselves to be more than we are, to view our lives with all the Israels, all the parents, all the children, all the siblings, all the friends that we have lost, all the brothers. We take their goodness and we move forward with that. In that way, the memory is truly a blessing. And in that way, we understand we are all part of this wonderful humanity of Echad. Shabbat Shalom.
Wonderful.
pause our service now as we turn to page 253 in our Cedering. When we think about those people in our community who are sick, need God's blessing and a community strength to get well. Then we think about Dr. Alan Abrams, Benjamin Cohen, Noah Barbara, Donna Festa, Shoshana Baird, Jonathan Garber, Helene Holland, Beverly Krasny, Mark Krasny, Bert Lewis, and William Bill Duncan, Douglas Morton, Avi Showalter, Ken Sickler, Don Turner, and Barbara Whitman. Is anyone else saying tonight like to have a prayer said for someone who is ill? Please raise your hand. Tell us who can say that prayer.
Joe and Jack.
Dr. Stephanie Abrams.
Let's turn in our series to page 253, 371 of Virtual Cedar. Please join Dr. Seller, in the middle of the page. You should have. To all those who love, all those who care about, and those who may not know, who suffer, for the all know foolish thing we say together. Our service now continues in our Cedering as we turn to page 282, second selection, 586 in your Virtual Cedar. We rise together, flowing, page 282. We turn now in our Cedering to page 291, 595 in our Virtual Cedar. Please read with me the bottom paragraph in English together. There are stars up above so far away, we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. Remember the fallen yard sites for this week. Remember Mrs. Sylvia Baker, Sarah Ferry Feslum, Fanny Bernstein, Herman Bernstein, Harry E. Cohn. Remember Betty Crane, Esther Leglin Frank, Francis Jeanine Frankel. Remember Muriel Frankel Costes, Mrs. Doris Greenblatt. Remember Otto Katz, Grace Kaufman, Lawrence Fitzes. Remember William Knapp, Joseph O. Cox, Mr. Albert Levinson, Sylvia Levy. Remember Mrs. Pauline Lipstein, Stanley R. Litt, Son Lyons. Remember Marvin Mayer, Miriam Milligan, Mrs. Francis Nash. Remember Pearl Pascal, Florence Schiller, Mrs. Mary Schneider, Ruth Scher. Remember Pearl Sokolov, Leah G. Solomon, Isaac Heidelbaum. Remember Mary Venner, Robin Wachter. Remember Tab Weiss, Pearl White, Maurice Witzman. Remember Esther Razalyafi, Julius Yale, and Dorothy Zagan. Is there anyone else saying Kaddish tonight?
Arnold Bear.
Anyone? Let's turn now as a congregation in Israel to page 294, 598 in our virtual Siddur. We ask those in mourning to rise and those who wish to support them also rise as we recite the Mourners Kaddish, page 294. Yitgadal Yitgadash Shemei Rabbah Dubarakute Yamtik Makute Bechayachon V'Yunechon Chayachol Beit Yisrael Bagalav Zman Karib Emu Amen. Yesh me Rabba Mevorach Yibarach Yishtabach Yipa'ar Yipamam Yitnaseh Yitadar Yitaleh Yitalal Shemei Kudishah Leila Mikol V'Cherta V'Shivata Tushbachata V'Nechmata Damaran Dilma V'Mu Amen Yesh Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Akol Yisrael V'Mu Amen Osei Shalom V'Brahma Uyasei Shalom Aleinu V'Akol Yisrael V'Bru. Amen. May their memories be for a blessing. The Lord always be their portion. May they always rest in peace. We stay together. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. So nice to see all of you here, and those of you who are watching. Some of you in Canada have been sending me how cold it is up there. We'll update it. It is much warmer than Palm Springs, so you're welcome to come back down here. We have virtually a plethora of things going on. In fact, we have a whole programming team now that is helping to put things out. And if you look at the Shabbatogram or the bulletin this week, it is chock full of things. So many things, we may even have to put one more page in this. It is just going and going. With all of these announcements and with everything that's going on, I am excited to present to you our president, Mitchell Hart, who will tell you about all of them.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much for coming. It's such an honor to be here with everybody when I see a nice crowd like this on Shabbat. We have so many things happening. We have a fancy Oneg next week. Can we sing happy birthday to Sarah?
We can.
Because it's like, she bought a cake for Robin. She basically bought it for herself because it was her birthday. We're going to have to give her the money back. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
We can say that.
So let me finish the announcements. We're going to sing happy birthday to Dr. Sarah Sella. The rabbi has a 10:30
Torah study.
the Torah study, and what time is your?
Very mitzvah classes at 1:30.
1:30. I should know this by now.
That's got to be, I gotta tell you, something that we get in these amazing discussions. I mean, they are just really, really incredible.
It's really great. I hope everybody wants to get involved. We have a is it a lecture with Stand With Us? What is she?
It's in conversation
It's
with
an
Dean.
Okay, in the conversation with the rabbi, and it's Stand With Us, and it is Carly Emil, and it's gonna be another fancy own it for that. There's gonna be nothing but food. It's like food, 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 food. So that's gonna be on the 27th. We have the Cantors on Broadway. That is happening on February 5th. That's going to be really, really, really wonderful. We've got five, if you look at the little brochure here, we have 5 cantors, including our own cantor Ken, and Joel is going to be accompanying them on the piano. It's going to be really, really, really wonderful. I'm hoping that everybody is going to come for that. Tickets are available. I know that, I think there's going to be food. There's going to be food. Is there going to I think so. There's going to be food, and I think there's going to be wine for purchase too. So if you want to sit back and have a glass of wine, which is really lovely, and that's going to be on February 5th at 2 o'clock. And then we get propelled into the big modernism. Modernism is so big here in the city of Palm Springs and in Temple Isaiah because we have tours going on all week. The first part of the week we've got 2 tours, and the second part of the week we only have 1 tour a day, and a lot of those tours are almost filled up. So if you haven't really taken a tour of this temple, you should do that. Our volunteers, both the guys and the gals, are so wonderful. They're so proficient with the history of this beautiful, beautiful building. I'm hoping that everybody takes a tour that wants to do that. On the 19th, I host the fashion show, and I just finagled Ellen to be one of our models, so because I was down a model. So we have 10 models with 8 outfit changes, so that's 80 looks. For those of you that were here for it last year, it was epic. I don't know how I'm going to change it, but this year, the theme is Welcome to the Academy Awards 1968. So it's going to be looks from 1968, from all the late 60s and probably some of the early 70s. I'm hoping that you all come for it. The next Saturday, downstairs in the Warsaw Ballroom, that is the curated vintage event. That's the show with all the dealers that are coming, and everybody's calling me wanting to know if they can get space. And I'm going to be picky with all. I'm going to pick the best dealers there are. So I'm hoping that you come for that. That's going to be great too. All the tickets for the fashion show, for the curated, and for the tours are on the Modernism Week website, modernismweek.com. And aside from us, there are events happening all through town, okay? So it's really something that everybody should get involved in. It's a really, really, really a wonderful, worthy cause. After modernism, we are going to talk about the film festival, and I'm going to let Doug talk about the film festival because he's the best.
Wow. Okay, the film festival. So if you haven't sponsored yet, get your check in immediately. You can even sneak it up to me and not know. Then I will tell you that we have an issue, and the issue is that we are going to have slots for 13 movies, and we can't seem to agree what we're going to get rid of. We have 16 fantastic choices. And the good news is almost every single movie is going to have a director, a producer, and several of them are going to have the actors and the actresses, so it's going to be totally awesome. The passes this year are not only going to include the opening night, the closing night, and all the movies, but guess what? They're going to include an opening afternoon concert. So that's before the red carpet daylight, if you will. So I hope everybody gets online and gets passes and gets tickets. And don't forget, the week before that, we're going to have the San Diego Jewish Men's Chorus. So if you want to get your tickets for that, get started now. And if you're not on the committee, we could use your help because we would love to have you help welcome them. They are so excited to be coming here. So there you go.
Thanks, Dougie. So aside from that, we are gonna be having quorum here in the Bachner. It's gonna be cheesecake as usual. And then we are gonna have a Seder on the first night. That's gonna be downstairs. We are, gonna look into that soon, I hope. Right?
Very soon.
Very soon, like
And
yesterday. That is gonna happen, so, I hope that you don't have to be members, you don't even have to be Jewish, you just wanna see what a Seder's like, you come, it's great. So that's on the first night. I know that there's an Israeli Independence Day thing at the Federation, I'm not quite sure what that's. April 30th, okay, and then we'll give you more information on that. And then, what else, did I miss something?
We covered it. Part of it.
What? Should, yeah, well, this, lack of cheesecake here, someplace like that. So yeah, I mean, this temple is chock full of events. So I'm hoping that for those of you that aren't members, you may want to join. Even if you're a member of the secondary, of the primary temple, you can join here as an auxiliary member, which would be great. We'd love to have you. And that's really it. I want to thank Joel, thank Sarah, thank Rabbi. It's like the Kingston trio here. It's great. I love it. It's great. Okay, so now we're going to sing Happy Birthday to Dr. Sarah Sella.
And he's got a great voice, by the way. Yeah, you do. Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sarah. Happy birthday to you. And now in Hebrew, Yom Haledet Sameach. Yom Haledet Sameach. Yom Haledet Sameach. Yom Haledet Sameach. And speaking of celebrations, we are now going to pour our Kiddush wine over here. So I need whoever's going to be assigned, who's our pourer, who's our designated pourer, who's our sommelier tonight? Our master sommelier.
Okay, who wants wine? This is wine and this is grape juice. Try not to spill it.
So while we're pouring and serving, I always get this question. It's funny because you go to supermarket and find these. I get them around Passover. By the way, are there like better kosher wines than Anshovas? There are wonderful kosher wines. If that's what if kosher wine is something you really like, and if you go to Ralph's or any of those stores, you can find like Park Nora and give it to the rabbi. That's right. No, give it to the rabbi. That's right. No one else wants it. Oh, that's right. Oh, I get the gold chalice. And so there's a lot of different ones. I don't drink a whole lot of wine, but our favorite is something called Moscato d'Asti, which is this really, really sweet, ultra sweet wine that's fizzy. So it's and those of you who remember, oh my gosh, I'm really dating myself. Back before there were like canned sodas, there used to be this drink called Fizzlies. You remember those? Put the little tablet in it was like Alka-Seltzer, but it was, that was a long time ago. That was, but, oh, there we go, all right. So, let's turn to page 5 in our Siddurim, and we will rise together as we sanctify the holy time of Shabbat with Kiddush, page 5.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הקפה.
אמן.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצה בנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה דרך מצרים, הבנו בחרת, אותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושם קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Amen.
L'chaim. So I'm going to ask please be seated. I'm going to ask our new member, our newest member, to come in and help me do the bracha for the challah.
Yeah.
That's living, right?
That's
Is it the blackberry?
It's
or the
nicely
grape?
dressed for Shabbat. My goodness. All right, hold that there. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. And we welcome you to our community. Right, so I'll give this to. I'm gonna give that to Melanie, and we have a brand new holiday courtesy of Bishop Hart. Thank you. So as we conclude our service for tonight, let me offer this prayer as we go to our own egg and be blessed as we go on our way. May God look down from heaven and guard your every step. May God give us all that we need to remember the people in our life, the people that gave us life, that taught us things, that gave us love. May we always have our own Shemans, our own Israels, the people in our life that we pledge to go forward to. May we always remember them for a blessing. And may we always be a blessing by remembering all those who came before us. We say together, Amen. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, my friends. Thank you for coming here and blessing us with your presence and making our community tonight. Shabbat Shalom.